Judge.
All right, the court calls case number 663-874, State of Texas versus Nicholas Cantu. Mr. Cantu, would you please raise your right hand? You solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you. Put your hand down, please. You can put your hand down. Mr. Cantu, before we proceed, there are several things that I need to cover with you. We have our court reporter, Ms. Kayleen Rivera, that's taking or creating an official record of this matter. Where is she, Patty?
She's there, Judge. She's waving at you.
I don't see her. Oh, there it is.
Judge.
Oh, there you are. Thank you. I'm going to remind you that you have several, in particular, constitutional rights and protections that you're afforded. The first one is that you have the right to remain silent. That means you don't have to say anything. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit written paperwork, especially papers that admit or confess to wrongdoing. You understand you have the right to remain silent.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
You have the right to a jury trial. That means you and your attorney in the state could select 6 people from a jury pool that would hear the entire case, the testimony, evidence, everything, and they would decide, if you chose, they would decide whether you're proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt or whether you're not guilty. That's called the right to a jury trial. You understand you have that right?
Yes, sir, Your Honor, I understand.
You also have the right to confront witnesses. That means if you go to trial, people will come in and testify. You and your attorney in the state would have the right to question, cross-examine, or challenge any witness who would testify. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, Your Honor, I understand it.
There's also a right to, it's called the right of appeal. It is a little bit of a technical right. You have to know how to do that. It's the right paperwork. You have time limits. There's several things you have to do, but you would demand that a higher court review the official record, the evidence, and decide whatever legal challenges you wanted to make. You understand that that's the right to appeal, and you have that right.
Yes, sir, Your Honor, I understand.
There's also finally a right to have this whole proceeding in an open public courtroom in County Court of Law number 5. But because of the pandemic, COVID pandemic, we're not doing that. We're doing it as you see through the computer, through telephone, however we're doing this. It's called a video conference. The state has the same right. So both of you, the defense and the state, have the right to demand an open public courtroom. You understand you have that right?
Yes, sir, Your Honor, I understand.
Now, in seeking to proceed with this matter, you and your attorney have reviewed some documents, different papers. I'll talk to you about some of them. But did you sign those documents?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Did you sign them after you had looked at them and reviewed them with your attorney?
Yes, sir, I did.
And those documents that you signed, you did understand?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right, let's start off. First of all, there's one called consent to video conference. I talked about that right just a moment ago. You did consent and did sign a document that says that you consent to the video conference. Is that correct? Instead of the courtroom?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
All right. Now, in addition, there's a more complex document called Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. It talks about what you're charged with, how you're going to plead. It talks about the level of punishment that's available to you, that you can be punished if you're found guilty. it talks about the different rights that we just mentioned, but these are now in writing. Did you review those with Ms. Kramer?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Do you have any questions about that document?
No, sir, no questions.
One of the things it says is that whatever deal you made with the state, it is not binding on me as the judge. As the judge, I have the authority and responsibility to decide whether I accept your deal or not. I have to say yes or no. I can also give you any punishment in the range of punishment for what you're charged with, even if it's heavier than what you agreed to. If I give you a heavier punishment than you agreed to, or if I reject your deal outright, then you would have the right to start all over again, and nothing that you've said or signed up till now would be used against you. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
All right. Now, you've also, you're applying for a probation. Is that correct, Ms. Kramer? Suzanne Kramer is
Oh,
your,
I'm sorry, Judge. I'm having such a hard time hearing. That is the plea bargain, if that's what you asked me. It's all
Yes.
kind of on my end. Yes, Judge.
all right. So,
Your Honor,
state,
this is not a probation case. It should be a judgment satisfied.
Yes,
okay.
this is a plea of no contest, Judge.
And the charge is assault, bodily injury.
Correct, Judge.
This is a regular, not a family assault.
It's a regular case, Judge.
All right.
Well, I believe Ashley could verify that, but I believe it is.
On the
That's
docket,
correct, Your Honor.
on the docket, it does not say family, so I'm just making sure. All right. Mr. Cantu, to the charge of assault, bodily injury, how do you plead, sir?
No contest, Your Honor.
You understand that a no contest plea in this court is considered a guilty plea and is sufficient for me to find you guilty.
Yes, sir, I do understand that.
All right. Now, did anyone threaten you, intimidate you, or promise you anything other than the plea bargain that you made in exchange for your plea of no contest?
No, sir.
All right, sir. I accept your plea of no contest. I find you guilty. State, what is the punishment agreement?
The agreement, Your Honor, is $2,000 fine plus court costs, 58 days in jail, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, and we would request that the judgment be satisfied.
That is the agreement, Judge.
All right, sir. Mr. Cantu, is this the agreement that you understand?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. Do you have any questions about it?
No, sir, I don't.
All right. Based on your plea and the evidence, I find you guilty. You are sentenced to $2,000 fine plus court costs, a 58-day jail sentence in Bexar County Jail, credit for time served, time and money run concurrent. The court finds that you have satisfied this judgment. Therefore, on this particular case, you owe nothing further to this court or to the state of Texas. You have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
Ms. Kramer?
No, Judge. Thank you.
All right, then that'll conclude this particular proceeding. Thank you both for your participation and your cooperation. You're
Thank you,
done.
Thank you, Your
Now,
Honor.
Mr. Cantu, you need to
Yes, sir.
come by the offices of County Court at Law Number 5. You have to sign, or rather you have to have your thumbprint placed on some of these documents as required by law. Is that
Okay.
understood?
I will
Yes, sir.
explain
I'm
that
here.
to him, Judge, so that he knows what to do.
All righty.
May
Very
we be
good.
excused, Judge?
Yes, you may. Thank you very
Thank
much.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome.